Hi YouTube. I just wanted to put together a quick video. I want to discuss from firsthand experience just a couple of stories I want to relate to you about how some of our economic policies can really inhibit growth. You know, we all want to get out of this malaise and we're all looking for solutions, and yet we have policies in place that actually are an inhibitor to growth. And I'm curious to know if you guys have any examples as well. These are just a couple. Before we get started, down in the description box, I placed a referral link for a company called ebates.com. This is something that I signed up through Lance Away's channel last year. I'm in the habit of trying to get the best deal possible whenever I shop, and I do shop online, especially around Christmas time. And Ebates is actually a pretty good way of doing that. They send you a rebate check once per quarter based on your online shopping. You know, if I'm going to buy something anyway, I might as well find the best price, and very often by going through Ebates I get that. What you have to do is you just have to get in the habit of, when you go shopping online, to open up ebates.com first and then click on the company link through Ebates, and then you get the money back. So there is a referral link. If that's something that interests you, great. Yes, I get $5 per referral. So onto the video. You know, I can be idealistic at times, and I know that in some ways that kind of sets me up for disappointment. It's fine. It is what it is. I'm not going to change now. I still try to see the best that I can. And I remember, when I was working in the grocery business, it's kind of a unique setup because you have very few full-timers and a ton of part-timers in the store. It's just the way that the labor structure is set up. And, you don't go around talking to people about their finances, but that, people that are working for, at the time it was like $7 an hour in a grocery store are hurting for money. And I always vowed, if I'm ever in a position where I can help some of these people, these are people that I worked with all the time. And there was just this big wage gap, and I always felt kind of bad about it. And I was like, if I can ever be in a position to help these people, I'm going to try to do that. I actually made it to a point where I was an interim store manager for a while. One of our stores that was very hard to staff, the top job was open, and I had it for quite a while. And I was finally in a position where I could make out the schedule and everything else. And there were 6 or 7 people in the store that I really knew could use the help. So what I would do is I would give them more hours. And it was funny because literally every single one of them came up to my office and banged on the door, and they were like, no, you can't do this. And I'm like, well, I'm giving you an opportunity to make more money. No, you can't. They're going to cut my benefits. And I kind of sighed. I'm like, well, I'm giving you an opportunity to maybe get off them. This is a great time to maybe take that next step. No, I don't want that. And I was very disappointed. I really was. I was like, I'm okay. And I cut their hours back, and I realized, just the way that the benefits policy was in place, it was literally discouraging these people to try harder, right? And that was really disappointing to me. I'm like, why would they have a policy like that would literally discourage people from wanting to do more? So it was what it was. So that brings me to today. I went to the store on lunch the other day, and there was a big sign on the window: "Help wanted." Great. Produce department, deli, grocery, cashier, the whole shebang. Up to 28 hours. Up to 28 hours. So why would that be? Why would they only be looking to give you a max of 28 hours? Well, to avoid the Obamacare mandate, right? Unbelievable that we would put a policy in place that would discourage employers from giving employees more hours. That just strikes me as unbelievable. That they would honestly think. I realize it's a bit of an unintended consequence, but they have to look at this stuff. Employers are going to do everything they can to get around these rules. We should have policies in place that are encouraging economic growth, not discouraging it. We should be encouraging businesses to hire, not discouraging them. And that's exactly what the Affordable Care Act is doing. That's why I said, I'm not against people getting benefits. I'm just against how this policy works, how it works against business, how, it's just frustrating. They've got to come up with a better way. They got to fix, the supply side of the equation is fine. It's flush with cash and everything. But you got to fix the demand side. And by not allowing people to work more than 28 hours, our number 2 employer now is Kelly Services, a temp agency. Wow. Literally, businesses are sending the message here. We're going to try to run this with temp employees and part-timers. And that's it. And they're getting away with it because the unemployment rate is so high. That's all that people can get. And part of it is because of our own policies. How foolish and short-sighted. It's frustrating. There just has to there has to be a way that we can fix this, and I'm just banging my head against the wall here. We're not even going to get into the foolish shutdown. Come on. It's funny. Rush Limbaugh, and I know, trust me, I know. I heard a 10-second radio spot the other day, and it just cracked me up because when Rush Limbaugh is the voice of reason, you know that there's problems. He was talking about the wealth gap. And he said, look, you're basically injecting $85 billion a month where rich people play. What do you think was going to happen? And that pretty much summed it up. All right. So talk to me, guys. How are government policies an inhibitor to growth?